Hello everyone. This is a request. This is Battle of Three Kings, 1578 AD, Part 1 of Portugal launches a crusade against... Well, we don't know, do we? They're not going to tell us. So let's just get into the video. Get your drink ready. I've certainly already started, and let's continue. Oh, you want up here? Okay.
As the sun rose through the mountains of the Rif and the Middle Atlas, Sultan Abd al-Malik led his army in prayer. Then he mounted his horse, surrounded by 5 sacred banners and regiments of bodyguards. Across the field arrayed the Crusader army in a large square formation, their cannons in the front, commanded by the young King Sebastian, with all the great lords of Portugal at his side, as the royal standards of his global maritime empire flutter in the gentle breeze. Sebastian came here to become the first Christian emperor of Morocco. And as a fan of our channel, you should definitely check out our friends over at CuriosityStream, my personal favorite streaming service that features thousands of documentaries geared towards the lifelong quest to learn, explore, and understand. I've been subscribed to CuriosityStream for over 2 years now, and I can highly recommend their history documentaries, which features topics from ancient...
I have 2 dogs on my lap now.
Also be supporting our channel. Morocco endured a prolonged crisis in the 15th and early 16th century. The Portuguese occupation of nearly all seaports brought about numerous economic, political, and cultural issues. And the decline only worsened when the Wattasids assumed power, as they did little to try and improve the situation, resulting in the breakdown of trade, the impoverishment of towns, decline of the intellectual life, and the stagnation of population growth.
Did you not just hear what I said?
Against this backdrop of Wattasid conciliatory policy toward...
I just want to apologize. I've been drinking, and so that's just funny to me.
Towards the Catholic kingdoms to the north, the Saadi dynasty arose in southern Morocco, determined to re-establish order and curb the expansionist ambitions of the Iberian kingdoms. Namely, there were 3 distinct reasons that motivated the Saadi Sharifs to organize the tribes of southern Morocco. First, the encroachment of the Portuguese further into interior lands of Morocco alarmed local leaders and caused them to seek redress against the Europeans. Second, the centuries-old trade routes, which had been an important part of the trans-Saharan economy, were now being challenged by European privateers, who were supported by their monarchs at home. They aggressively tried to monopolize trade by establishing trading posts in strategic locations along the Atlantic coast, and this substitution of desert overland routes for the faster sea voyages became a considerable advantage for the Europeans, which crippled the local economies. Third, Saadi Sharifs feared what they called the Turkish peril. The Ottoman Empire was in its zenith, its power stretching across 3 continents, and there were few, if any, countries strong enough to stop their relentless expansion. And Constantinople had ambitions in Morocco, having supported the Wattasids as their clients, which allowed them to remain in power for decades. However, the Saadis were a formidable opponent. Their dynasty's origins are attributed to the family of Al-Bayt, which were a group of relatives of Prophet Muhammad, and their ancestors lived in Hijaz, from where they went to Western Africa to spread their religion. It was this prophetic lineage that enabled the Saadis to resist the Ottomans, and a period of prosperity followed under the efficient rule of Muhammad al-Sheikh, who expanded the realm and was particularly effective in driving out the Portuguese from most of their strongholds, and also destroyed the Ottoman-backed Wattasids in the north of the country, becoming the first Saadi Sultan to rule over Morocco.
The Wattasids are gone. Do you hear what I said?
Morocco. Al-Sheikh had 3 sons, Abdallah al-Ghalib, Abd al-Malik, and Ahmed al-Mansur. From a very young age, all 3 of his sons showed exceptional potential for statesmanship and military leadership. But Sultan al-Sheikh met an untimely death when he was assassinated by the Ottomans in 1557, and his eldest son al-Ghalib took the throne. He would go on to rule Morocco for 17 years, further consolidating his father's gains, successfully defending the realm against the Portuguese, the Spanish.
Was he the oldest, or what am I trying to say? Yes, was he the oldest son, or did they just pick him? Curious.
As well as the Ottomans. By now, the people of Morocco regarded the Saadis as heroes, but when al-Ghalib died in 1574, the dynasty faced its first crisis. Namely, when the late Sultan took the throne 17 years ago, his younger brothers Abd al-Malik and Ahmed al-Mansur fled Morocco to escape his purge of all dynastic rivals in the country. The then 15-year-old Prince al-Malik and the 8-year-old al-Mansur were forced to seek refuge and settled in Ottoman-ruled Algeria, in Algiers on the coast, a bustling new city enriched by the plunder from the corsair captains. From there, some years later, the 2 brothers traveled the vast expanses of the mighty Ottoman Empire, gaining valuable experience, as well as education and training from their generous hosts. The 2 princes participated and distinguished themselves in the disastrous Battle of Lepanto in 1571, and volunteered to take part in the recapture of Tunis in 1574. It was this fighting spirit that brought them to the attention of Sultan Murat III, who sought to expand Ottoman influence into Morocco and offered to provide the older brother Abd al-Malik with men, money and munitions to help him take the Saadi throne. In exchange, Abd al-Malik promised to pay 15 tons of gold as tribute and lease the port of Larache to the Ottoman fleet. Acquiring such a large and well-built port on the Atlantic would allow the Ottoman Empire to outflank Spain in future naval conflicts, and would give the Algerian corsairs an opportunity to intercept the silver bullion being shipped from South America to Seville. However, it was agreed that these plans would be put on hold for now, as al-Malik did not want to antagonize Spain, and also aimed to prevent Morocco from becoming an Ottoman protectorate. The Ottoman-backed invasion of Morocco in 1576 was a resounding success. With Sultan al-Ghalib dying 2 years prior, his son Abdallah Muhammad II suffered 3 successive defeats at the hands of al-Malik, and with an already weak hold on power, he was forced to flee the country, deciding to seek help in recovering his throne from none other than the Portuguese Empire, an old enemy of the Saadi dynasty, as Abd al-Malik became the new Sultan of Morocco. This was music to King Sebastian's ears, who began preparations straight away.
Why would he help him, though, if they were enemies? Oh, unless it's he's no longer my enemy because he got booted out. So he's not my enemy, but he is my enemy. But the enemy of my enemy is my friend? Is that how it goes? And since I'm pointing here, but since he is now in charge, makes him the new enemy, he can use the other guy maybe to pull some forces away, and then they can wipe them all out, and then he can install him back in, or, you know, a puppet government kind of thing, or he could just and then install his own government. I'm wondering if that's a legit thing. I mean, it's, of course it's something that probably has happened before, but I'm wondering if that's what Sebastian is thinking of, or if he's just, because why would he help him? I don't know. Why would he help him? I don't know.
He now had a pretext to invade and conquer Morocco under the cover of helping his ally Abdallah Muhammad to regain his throne. But, more importantly, the invasion was an opportunity to slow down the seemingly unstoppable advance of the Ottoman military machine towards the Atlantic, which
Okay. He's enemies with the Ottoman, and they're taking him as being an Ottoman coming in, so the guy who fled there, he's willing to go in to stop. Maybe that's what it was. Okay.
Threaten the security of the Portuguese coast, their strongholds in Western Africa, as well as their invaluable trade from across the Atlantic. The 24-year-old Sebastian became king of Portugal at the age of 3. He was mostly looked after by his grandmother, and although she was a devout Roman Catholic, his uncle and other patriotic anti-Castilian court members ensured that Sebastian would be raised a Jesuit. It's said that he was a bright but impulsive boy, and being very fond of military pursuits, Portuguese knights in jousting, riding, and sword fighting. And from an early age it was perhaps the Jesuit order that instilled in him a fanatical desire to conquer Morocco and win glory for Portugal. Indeed, even as a boy, Sebastian spoke of leading a crusader army that would destroy the Sultanate of Morocco and converting the population of North Africa to Christianity, determined to succeed where his predecessors had failed. This mindset had widespread support in Portugal because of the obvious benefits the empire would have from the trade of gold, cattle, wheat, sugar, and other produce, which offered opportunities to the mercantile bourgeoisie and the nobility. And now, in June 1578, Sebastian...
I'm currently accepting applications from countries that want me to be their king. I'll do a terrible job, and you'll regret it immensely. So,
attended a service in Lisbon's cathedral, where he was presented with a battle standard embroidered with an imperial crown, and soon after the Portuguese army of some 23,000 troops embarked from the harbour, carried by a fleet of 500 ships.
Damn.
It included 2,000 Portuguese knights, around 8,000 mercenaries, mostly Germans, Castilians, English and Italians, as well as a papal infantry contingent, with the core of the army consisting of Portuguese and Moorish troops. The flower of the Portuguese nobility accompanied Sebastian with their retinues, with the most powerful dukes and petty kings unanimously supporting the king's crusade. The army made landfall near the Portuguese fortress of Asila in the first days of July. As he disembarked, King Sebastian spotted a Moroccan detachment in the nearby hills. On the spot, he hastily assembled a contingent of knights and charged to chase off the enemy, without waiting for the rest of his army.
Uh-oh.
The garrison on the walls of Asila watched on in amazement, and the thousands of troops on the beach and on the ships were encouraged that they would be serving under a fearless young commander who would lead them from the front.
What he just did has all the writings of a guy who's going to die quickly in battle. That's just my opinion.
However, further progress into Moroccan territory was halted, as the Crusaders would spend the entire month of July assembling their vast camp into marching order. Weighed down by the thousands of camp followers, servants, priests, women, page boys and slaves, as well as the fully mobile royal court, portable pavilions for the nobility, chapels and a royal choir, all fully provisioning the Portuguese nobility with all of their daily comforts.
The only thing that man was missing was a speedboat and 4 cows. He had everything else.
Needless to say, some of the troops did not enjoy languishing on the beach as they ate through their supplies, and became disenchanted with the stalled crusade. But the march finally continued on July 29th. As the army moved south, it quickly became apparent that Sebastian had no intention of capturing the key port city of Larache in order to secure the coast. Instead, he led his army inland to confront what he considered to be the main heathen army, aiming to strike a decisive blow that would enable him to conquer the entire Sultanate of Morocco. Meanwhile, Sultan Abd al-Malik was on his way from Marrakesh. He had been preparing to resist the invasion for the past 18 months, and once word reached him that the Crusader fleet left Lisbon a month earlier, he summoned the tribes of Morocco to defend their nation, their families, and their faith. Tens of thousands of warriors answered the call of the son of the great Mohammed al-Sheikh, the first Saadi Sultan of Morocco. But most importantly, Sultan al-Malik's younger brother, Ahmad al-Mansur, who was serving as governor of Fez, brought with him the men of the northern hills. An army of some 50,000 assembled just northwest of the town of Al-Qasr Kabir to meet the invaders as they crossed the Macazan River on August the 3rd. Tomorrow they would do battle.
Oh, damn, that was it? Oh, they did what I do. Pause it right before the battle starts. Okay. So I'm going to end this here. And 7:51. Yeah, I can drink a little bit more, I guess. It's just my liver, am I right? High five. What's that pizza? God damn, I want another slice. I need more alcohol too. Okay, so I got a lot of needs, so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that. It's me throwing down the gauntlet. Like and subscribe, and I'm gonna have a cooking channel. We're gonna make all your favorite dishes. We're gonna make dog hair lasagna. We're gonna make I've already mentioned it before, toenail pie. We're gonna make dog poop cakes. So yeah, that's a terrible idea. I'm going to end this here. Did I already say like and subscribe? Video out.